I don't listen.
Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. Welcome, everyone, to the I Think I Hate Movies and I Love Drum Beats podcast. I'm your host, John.
And I'm Rei.
And we're here to talk about movies. So let us begin. It is, it's July. Happy July 4th. Belated July 4th. Hope everyone had a safe
Independence Day.
Independence Day. Yep. Hope nobody
Saw Independence
saw
Day.
Independence Day resurgence. And avoided any aliens. Anyway, all
Are
right.
you doing a Jeff Goldblum impression?
Maybe. Thanks, Cinco. Anyway, so let's start with some movie news in our continuing Ghost in the Shell saga. Just what the listener wants to hear. More Ghost in the Shell news.
Better than Zack Snyder.
Yes.
For now.
Ghost in the Shell, the live action movie, has a new director. It's Zack Snyder. No, that is not the news. There's news though. This comes from Kotaku. The producers have come out and sneer quotes dealt with the whitewashing issue that we have spoken about so vehemently on this program before. And should I read this quote? Or do you want to read this quote? Who has the honor of reading this quote?
You can read that quote, because I think that quote on its own isn't great. It's the actions that follow the quote. I mean,
Okay.
The quote itself, taken out of context, sounds fine.
Okay, but in the context.
You need to give them the context, is
Yes.
what I'm saying with the quote.
Right. Okay, so to give this some context. The issue before that we addressed was the whitewashing of the Ghost in the Shell live action movie, which is in production now. And people, or us, or certain groups are upset because this is originally a Japanese anime written by Japanese people in a Japanese-ish setting with Japanese characters. And the starring role of this movie has been cast to Scarlett Johansson. So people were upset because a white actress was playing a quote-unquote Asian role. Which, to be fair, is a valid argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
Considering not only that there are plenty of Asian actors that would fill this role, that could fill this role,
Mm-hmm.
and that are capable of this role. But it like on the surface at least, it seemed that like, oh, Scarlett Johansson, like young, popular actress, so like she's the go-to, right?
For Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a Hollywood movie. And then you have things like there was a Death Note movie that was in production for a while that refused to even interview or cast Asian actors for the role, for the lead. They didn't even do auditions with Asian actors. So things like that, like, are happening within like the Hollywood system already. So
Is
like
that
this
still happening?
No, I don't
Oh,
think
okay,
so.
thank
I
God.
well, I hope not. But it's very like emblematic of like the Hollywood system that has kind of
Yeah.
been in place for a while. So this is like reinforcing that idea, I think. So people are upset. So finally, the producers of the Ghost in the Shell movie came out and addressed this issue, addressed in sneer quotes. So I get to read the quote. Okay. There are all.
Read it as Jeff Goldblum.
That'll take too long. I'm just thinking of Hollywood. I'm trying to do a Hollywood producer exec voice.
Clint Eastwood.
There are all sorts of people and anyway. There are all sorts of people and nationalities in the world in the Ghost in the Shell. Also, I'm reading this verbatim and some of the grammar is weird. But anyway, we're utilizing people from all over the world. There's Japanese in it. There's Chinese in it. There's English in it. There's Americans in it. I don't think it was just a Japanese story. Ghost in the Shell was a very international story. And it wasn't just focused on Japanese. It was supposed to be an entire world. That's why I say the international approach is, I think, the right approach to it. So, we talk about context a lot. And let's take this within the context of, we cast a white actress and people are upset, so this is our statement that we're putting out.
It needs to be international, like the source material that we aren't as international as.
Right. So I don't think this quote justifies anything.
It doesn't. It sounds like it does right up until the last two lines.
Right
where it's
until
all
the
sudden
last
like
two.
where he just trips and falls down the stairs.
It's like, and you can tell, like mid-sentence, like they're probably, oh God, where am I going with this?
I wonder if they started stumbling. They probably started stumbling right when they're like, there's Japanese in it, there's Chinese in it, there's English in it, there's Americans in it. Wait, I just went from languages to people.
Yeah.
Oh God.
All right. So yeah, semantics aside, yeah, there's a little bit of verbal tripping going on, and then that last sentence. So that's why that last sentence doesn't really hold a lot of water. The international approach is the right approach. Sure. That's why we cast a bunch of white actors. And to be fair, they recently cast Rila Fukushima, an Asian actress who is apparently in The Wolverine. So it's kind of like they want their cake and they want what is the idiom? They want their cake and they want to eat their cake, right?
Okay.
What is the idiom?
They have their cake and they want to eat it too, or something. Have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
You're changing the conjugation of it so it gets confusing.
They want cake. They want to eat all the cake. So they're saying, like, oh, well, it's okay because it's international, but at the same time, we're also, like, they're trying to justify why Scarlett Johansson's character is white, and then also we hired a Japanese actress, too. So it's okay, because we're hiring other ethnicities, so that's fine, right? So you can't have both. The story, though, on Kotaku goes on, and here's the stinger. Here's where no matter what camp you're in, your opinion may completely change. So it goes on to say that Scarlett Johansson's character is not Matogo Kusanagi. So it's okay. Everything's fine, you guys. She will be referred to as Major. And that's it. They fixed it. Right, they fixed it. It's not a Ghost in the Shell movie. It's just cyberpunk international action movie with lady named Major.
Yep. Sounds like a weird fan fiction.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, either do Ghost in the Shell or not, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't think they're capable of doing Ghost in the Shell with this team.
I think...
If they're already going to like take a ton of that sort of make that sort of faux pas with this already, there's no way that they can understand the story well enough to make it a good story and applicable to now.
Right. So, let's see. We tried to fix fairy tales, right?
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't like where this is going.
Let's get rhetorical. Let's try to quote unquote fix this movie. Fix this situation, at least.
This situation, yeah, it's easy. Just cast a Japanese actress as the main lead and make her Motoko Kusanagi.
Right. So that would be like the easy.
I can guarantee you the screenplay they probably have for it right now is awful.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's already dated. But I don't know. Well, there's kind of a charm to well, there would be a charm to doing it like the anime, in which the setting and like the world were still in that kind of faux
that
future
alternate
80s
reality.
Yeah, like that would be kind of fun and nostalgic.
Yeah.
But like I don't know if they're gonna do that. I think they're just gonna go far-flung future, and everything's gonna look really shiny and clean and sterile and whatever. Either way. So okay, like, yes, I think an Asian actress would be more appropriate in the role of Motoko Kusanagi. But say they did a Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson, and she's Motoko Kusanagi, and they're gonna, like, what if they just owned up to it? Is what I'm saying, I guess. And so and didn't address this issue at all, or address it in this like ham-fisted way, and said, yes, she's Motoko Kusanagi. We cast Scarlett Johansson because she's popular and she brings people to the theater, and she's a good actress. Like, you know, generally speaking, she's all right. She's done some stinkers, but like, you know, given the source material or the scripts, like she can be okay. And like, what if they just owned up to it?
I wouldn't really say I would make it a favorite movie for sure.
No, I'm not asking, or they're not asking you to you know, they're not making your favorite movie or something. They're just like a good, entertaining, just action movie or something. Like, do you think people can separate the like politics of this kind of?
If someone was like removed from it and totally hadn't seen Ghost in the Shell before, and they used that sort of storyline to create it, I think someone, especially a kid, a young teenager, could possibly enjoy it if it's well written. But I have a feeling.
Well, yeah, even a young teenager is not going to be worried about the writing.
Some are.
True, but I'm just, you know, like I guess the way you're phrasing it, like someone young and not who doesn't know about this stuff. Like, I was talking to the other day. I said, what was that? What movie did I mention? Oh, Boondock Saints. Like, that's a bad movie. But like when you're 15 or 14 or something, and you see that movie, you're like, yeah, this is awesome.
And I told you I didn't appeal to it. It didn't appeal to me at that age.
Well, I'm saying me.
Right.
Like a
and I'm
young
saying me.
a young boy who just wants to see action and guys with guns and shooting, like. Do you think if they marketed this movie, then maybe, I guess, as like just like a mindless action movie or something? Where...
Yeah, because it would have a lot of boobs and ass in it too, so it's got that going for it.
It's true. So, yeah, I guess either way, they're kind of fucked here.
Yeah. The only way that they could have made this work for me with Scarlett Johansson is if she's a completely different character. Like, not just major.
Right.
But, like, if she's, like, working with a team that Motoko Kusanagi, and Motoko Kusanagi is an acknowledged character in the movie.
Right.
And she's, like, someone who's, like, studied her or something, or her understudy.
Yeah.
And especially if she was also, Motoko became a character in it, that she's, like, maybe following or something, that would be really cool.
Right.
That would be an interesting twist, and that would feel more justified than in what they did. Especially if there was also a wide array of Asian actors in the movie. That would make way more sense.
Yeah.
But the way that they're doing it, no, this is kind of shit. No matter what they do with it at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I'm just more upset. I guess that's more of the argument or the issue that I never really addressed the first time we mentioned this story. Was I'm not upset that Scarlett Johansson got cast. Like I said, she's fine. I'm more upset that there are plenty of capable Asian actors and actresses that obviously would have fit the role aesthetically, but maybe, like how Star Wars is doing it almost, where they're not hiring unknowns, but they're hiring potentially great actors and actresses because, for one, maybe they don't want people to associate actors with characters and whatnot, and there's that uncanny valley thing, but also it feels like they're giving smaller actors bigger roles because they do have potential. So it's like, well, someone like Scarlett Johansson, like everybody, we know her.
Right.
Everybody knows her. Like she's on the cover of Cosmopolitan like every other week. Like she's done everything and
every action movie.
Yeah, and like we go back to like Lucy. She was like she was bad in Lucy, and that's an action movie, and that's by like a pretty esteemed director.
Sure.
Well, I like Luc Besson. I like Luc Besson. Lucy was terrible, but Lucy was, I don't know what happened. I don't know. Listen to that episode if you want. Yeah, like, he's really good at like doing actiony. I don't know. We won't get into that. But anyway, like I was saying, like she was in Lucy as like basically a very non-character, and she was terrible. Like acting and even the action scenes and stuff, she was terrible. So it's like even on the merit of like she brings in audiences, like she's not. I don't see her
bad. She just wasn't supposed to really have a personality. She was supposed to be a computer, essentially, in Lucy.
Yeah, she was more. She was like a surrogate character or something.
Animated mannequin.
Yeah, but it's, I don't know. Maybe the conversation should shift more towards what is in 2016. What is the like female action hero, like archetype or something? How like or it's almost like she's being typecast because she was like Black Widow, like she can do all this action stuff, and like she's good with stunts and like timing and like all these complicated action scenes that need you need to be very focused or whatever and very particular about it's a different kind of acting. So like what in 2016 is that all that we expect out of like a female lead is like, like you get it like looking good in a cat suit and shooting a gun. It's like I think we need to expect a little bit more, because it almost feels like a reflection on it almost feels like, a dude in an action movie does this and this, so a lady has to do this and this.
Yeah. But
like we like expecting that out of like a male in an action movie is like, well, those are old tropes and stereotypes about action heroes. Right, that's what I'm saying. And carrying that forward in 2016 and then also applying that to a female, to a woman, is like, well, now you're just, like undermining everything. All those roles, kind of. Like making it like a blanket, like, oh, action heroes just have to be like good at shooting and have to look good.
Yeah.
So like I guess we should expect more out of our main characters in action roles, but also like, I guess maybe the best example is maybe like Mad Max Fury Road is like, I don't know, Charlize Theron is good in that movie, but
I don't want her to be every action female character.
Yeah, but well, yeah. I don't want that, but that kind of, in a way, almost breaks some of those stereotypes, because her character has a lot of depth, and it's unspoken depth, and it's like so artfully and masterfully done, like where she, I don't know. I mean, I could go on forever about that movie, but like, I don't know. I just think in the end we should just expect more out of these kinds of lead roles, whether it be male or female.
Right.
But this one almost feels like, oh well, Scarlett Johansson, she's the Black Widow, so she can also be this because they're the same character and we're just writing the same character over and over, especially if it's a female. So I don't know. That's my rant. I'm just trying to delay so we don't have to talk about our movies this week. And I'm going to show you some pictures. This is our other piece of news.
Oh no.
Ready?
I don't
show
know.
you some pictures.
I don't think I am.
This plays great for radio. I'm showing you a picture of, it's concept art.
Is that Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Mm-hmm.
And some douchebag.
Chris Evans.
Oh, it's Captain America.
That's Captain
and
America.
Man, Robin.
Yeah.
Man.
Potential future Batman. And yeah, again, this plays great for radio.
And Akira.
And Akira! So this concept art for the live-action Akira movie, which has been in development hell forever, kind of was also on Kotaku. And yeah, it looks cool. It looks alright. There's it's like just concept paintings of Chris Evans as Tetsuo and Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Akira and the infamous bike, and that's it. And they're pretty. Concept art's pretty. I like concept art. Like Ralph McQuarrie is one of my favorites, a Star Wars concept artist. So yeah, looks alright. I hope this movie never gets made.
Imagine if Guillermo del Toro directed it.
Imagine if Guillermo del Toro directed a lot of things. A lot of things would be better. Ghost in the Shell. Guillermo del Toro. Batman vs. Superman.
How would he put
Guillermo del Toro.
What's his name? Davy Jones?
John.
Doug Jones?
Who?
Guillermo del Toro's favorite.
Insert
his favorite Andy Serkis.
all his faves. Ron Perlman?
No.
Ron Perlman's his
You
favorite.
always say Ron Perlman, but
it's his favorite.
The one who's in every single one of his movies
Ron
as
Perlman.
a ghost
Ron Perlman.
or a pan.
Oh, his
It's Doug Jones. I think
inanimate
is his name.
monster ghoulie. Oh, he could put a monster ghoulie in anything.
He would definitely be in Akira.
Yeah. He would be Akira at the end of Akira. It would be amazing. Yeah, I hope this movie. You know what? I don't. This movie will probably happen, and we will probably have the same conversation about this movie as we're having about something like Ghost in the Shell. So maybe that's also the well. that's kind of giving up, right? It's being complacent with Hollywood standards and practices. It's going, oh well, they're gonna make all these Japanese things and put white people in them. We'll just accept it. No, we shouldn't. We should not accept it. But anyway,
we don't have to. We don't
this
have
movie
to go see it.
Will probably not happen. And if it does,
it's a little weird. I feel like their contracts are clashing because you tricked me with that scroll down. I'm like, is this Captain America and Batman in a movie together? Is that what you're showing me? And then I was like,
Marvel versus DC. It's finally happening. So yeah, I don't know. Concept art doesn't necessarily mean anything. I don't think this film is in production.
Did they pull these off DeviantArt?
No, this is an official a concept artiste. Geez, let me find the name. I'm real bad. Rari Robinson. Anyway. Yeah, that's on Kotaku if you want to look at that. Cool concept art, but yeah. The Akira movie probably won't happen. I don't know. Movie's almost 30 years old at this point, so even if it does, you know, the thing, the other thing about like remakes and like Hollywood appropriating things like this is we still have the original thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's what a lot of people, I think, that argue about this stuff and that get really upset about this stuff tend to forget is like you still have your thing. You know, if you loved Ghost in the Shell from 1995, watch Ghost in the Shell from 1995. It's not going anywhere. You know, go buy the Blu-ray and watch it all day, and then when the new one comes out, don't watch it. Just don't go see it.
Well, the other thing is maybe they do want to see a new version, and this isn't the version that they wanted.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with something like Ghost in the Shell, they do keep doing animated movies too. So it's like it's not one of those things that's become so like unpopular or esoteric that like people just forgot about it and it's not, you know, like a cool thing anymore. It's, you know, it's still a thing. Like, it's still a franchise. It still makes money, and people are still interested in those stories of Mitogu Kusanagi. So, you still have your thing, you know? If they make a new Akira, like, fine. That's cool. Like, I would be curious as to what it was, but it's not gonna ruin my enjoyment of the original, you know? Same goes with anything that gets remade. What was the last remake that we watched? I feel like there was something recent that we watched. That was
Cinderella.
Oh. No.
You're welcome.
Yeah, nothing's gonna ruin the original Cinderella because it's already shit. Oh. Alright. I think that probably closes the book on the Ghost in the Shell stories.
Probably not because it's not out yet.
That's true. Oh, that'll be, yeah, when the trailer comes out, we'll have to do that. Yeah, that'll be a fun day. Super fun. Yeah. It's like, you know, I may sound cynical most of the time. But you know, this podcast is just a small slice of me. It's a drop in the bucket. You know, I'm not that cynical about this stuff. Or if I am, there's always a bright side, you know, or there's always an optimistic approach that I take. Like no. Seriously. Don't look at me like that.
What's the optimistic side of
the optimistic side is you still have your thing that you like when it comes to remakes, you know. It's not going away. Like if they release Ghost in the Shell and then like pull every copy of the original and like have a giant Ghost in the Shell burning and then ban it everywhere, then that's like a whole different conversation. But, you know, if movies were like crazy and draconian like that, then that would be you would have a reason to be upset. All the original thing's going away, and here's the new thing. Enjoy it. It's replacing it. It's like, it's not replacing it. Calm down. It's okay, you guys. So, are there any trailers we didn't watch?
There were a bunch we didn't watch.
Yeah, there were. There were like 3 trailers we watched, and they were all the same movie. And Tom Hanks
didn't watch.
Didn't watch. Tom Hanks is in a movie that's basically Robert Zemeckis' Flight, but it's with a white guy and directed by Clint.
It's based on a true story.
It's based on real stuff that maybe happened, probably, maybe, sort of. And it's directed by Clint Eastwood. So, this is different this time, you guys. What is it called? Airplane flying, drunk man.
Sully,
exactly. It caught my eye. It caught my attention because the thumbnail on YouTube was Tom Hanks with white hair and a mustache, and it was called Sully. And there's a character in the Uncharted games named Sully, and he has white hair and a mustache. And I was like, ooh, a Sully Uncharted side story movie?
Starring Tom Hanks.
Starring Tom Hanks? Nope. I would watch that. This looks meh. This looks like whatever. I don't know. Actually, I don't think I've seen a Clint Eastwood direct. Oh, wait. Did he direct I Hate Koreans?
Yes.
The movie?
It's Hamong, by the way.
Okay. What? No.
Are we thinking of different movies?
No. Angry...
They're all I Hate Somebody's.
El Camino. El Torino.
Gran
Torino. El Camino.
Hamong.
Yeah. No, he was talking about Koreans. I used to shoot
right.
Koreans in the war. Used to stack you guys up like sandbags or something. There's a terrible line in there.
Yeah.
And his character arc is, I'm an old angry man, and then I'm gonna die an old angry man. And that movie's awful. I think I want to say
I am Clint Eastwood and I will die Clint Eastwood.
Yeah. Separate the art from the artist sometimes, but also sometimes it's really hard to, especially when it's so apparent in their work. But anyway, not many trailers to speak of. So I guess let's talk about our movies. This is your fault. Last week you drew John Landis from the director selector bucket.
I did. But I tried to make a convincing argument that we should watch Thriller instead of his films.
Yeah, I mean...
Which we should have done.
We should have. This is, I think I hate movies, not I think I hate music videos.
It's a movie, it's just a short movie. It's also a musical.
Okay, that's one way to look at it. So...
There's a plot. There's more of a plot in Thriller than there is in Animal House, I can tell you that.
Are we doing Animal House first?
No.
No.
I'm not ready. Let's do this chronologically.
Burke and Hare.
That's right.
Burke and Hare was a movie.
With a good cast.
It came out in some year in the 2000s, starring a bunch of well-knowns and funny actors, and it's a movie.
It was a movie.
Let's see, we got Tim Curry, Simon Pegg,
Andy Serkis, Christopher Lee.
What's her name? Jessica Lange. Oh gosh, who else is in that?
Bill Bailey.
I feel bad because I feel like I'm forgetting a big one.
Yeah, you had the dude with the coat,
So
the man, the Dr. Knox man.
I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna look it up. And Tom Wilkinson, he's in it. Said Tim Curry, Jessica Hines, not Jessica Lange, my bad. Yeah, Jessica Hines. Oh my gosh, Jessica Hines is super underused in this. If you're a fan of Spaced, don't watch this because Jessica Hines is kind of a non character in this. So this is let's sum up the plot here. It's based on fables, maybe? Or
what?
Is this based on anything, or is this an original?
It was an original piece based on the like body stealing.
I mean, based on like like vague history.
Right. There were some real characters in it, but they were like parodies of themselves. I suppose.
So this is a lampoon of.
Was it?
I don't know.
It could have been.
Yeah, no, it's satirical and
vaudevillian.
Yes. There's What is this about? Ready?
Oh no. So this is about two gents, Burke and Hare, or Gollum and Simon Pegg.
Sean,
yes. Mm-hmm. And...
Or Constable, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Constable?
Yeah, wasn't he a constable in the Hot Fuzz? Or a police officer.
He was like a security guard or something.
No, he was a hardcore cop in Hot Fuzz.
Right.
Constable Nicholas Angel. Anyway, sorry.
Constables were still a thing. That sounds like a 1600s thing.
I guess a constable is like would be his boss or captain. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt. Go on.
Okay, so I'm lost. It's your turn.
Simon and Burke. Are two gents.
Burke and Hare.
Are
two gents who live in a duplex hotel place. Anyway, they're short on their monies and they start taking dead people to a doctor and selling the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And shenanigans ensue.
Mm-hmm. It's like is it 18th century?
19th century.
19th century. Oh, it's the 1800s. That's right. And they're what was the town that they live in?
It was Scotland, but they were from Ireland.
The town is like infamous for having great
Dublin
medical schools.
It's Dublin? I feel like it's Dublin, right?
Sure. Well, yeah. So the two competing medical schools are in this town, and they need cadavers, and there is some bylaw in the government that prevents them from taking like the public execution cadavers, or they're in competition with each other. So the one school that needs cadavers is like willing to pay anybody for cadavers, in no matter what circumstance, whether it be legitimate or shady. So yeah, Burke and Hare are I almost corrected to Burke and Simon. Burke and Hare are two scoundrels or tricksters, con artists. So the first body that they bring a body and kind of make a deal with the doctors that they will keep bringing bodies, and
once they realize how much they're worth.
Right. And then a love story gets implicated with Isla, fucking what's her name?
Macbeth.
Isla Macbeth, yeah, that's it. Oh, fuck. Sacha Baron Cohen's wife! God damn it. Isla Fisher. She wants to put on a production of Lady Macbeth, and she needs money, so she's extorting money from them, and they're extorting money from the school, and yes, shenanigans ensue. So what did you think of this movie? That was the wrong accent. What did you think of this movie?
It was fine for a bit. It had its moments.
Yeah. It's fine.
It was edited really weird and had really weird music.
Yeah.
Especially the credits, where I was just like,
I think it just had bad music.
It had really bad music.
It had stocky, kind of generic. If Getty Images were music, yeah, the music was weird. I think the music went along with the editing too, in the way it was like it queued up at like a very formulaic pace, and then the editing was so that it just made it feel. It just made the whole movie feel like it was just dragging its hands on the ground.
To me, it felt cheap.
It made it feel cheap, yeah.
Oh
yeah, there was yeah. The music and the editing made it feel like a made-for-TV movie.
And it was weird, yeah, because the like costuming was really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the actors were really good, and it's like, wait, what is happening?
The production values were great. The town was cool and Scottish and rustic, and it seemed that their attire and stuff pretty much adhered to the time period. Yeah, Simon Pegg, when he's not with Edgar Wright, is like really hit or miss, which kind of sucks. Like, I don't doubt that he's like a really good, funny actor, because I know he is.
Mm-hmm.
But like, when he gets a good script, because he usually helps write Edgar Wright's movies too, I think,
mm-hmm.
or co-writes, and they ad-lib a lot of stuff. But this movie was just like very by the book comedy beats.
Yeah.
And there were a couple jokes, I guess, that were kind of more traditional jokes, which were okay. Like, well, actually, on the contrary, the one that was like set up as a joke that I thought was like the flattest, dumbest thing in that movie. Not the dumbest thing, but a really flat joke was like when they're trying to get bodies, they're trying to make it look like accidents. So there's like an establishing shot of like the ocean and these rocks, and then it pans up on this cliff, and then they're chopping down a tree, so it falls in front of a wagon, so maybe this horse buggy will get in an accident and they'll get some bodies, right? So I guess the joke is they chop the tree down and then the horse and buggy just fall off the cliff into the water.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not funny, but also you started with the establishing shot of the water and moved they panned up. So if you would have just shown a road and made it look like there's no cliff, and then had them chop the tree down, and then the wagon falls off this cliff that you didn't even know was there,
it would have been funny.
Then
right?
that would have been. It wouldn't have, well, I don't know
if
it would have been
great.
funny, but it would have. Yeah, it would have been a joke.
Yeah, because like the way that was edited was confusing. It was like, was that the punchline?
Was that the
or
was that the plan?
To do, and then
right.
they just didn't realize they had no way to get down there.
Right. So now I'm trying to think of a good joke.
The drunken guy falling down the stairs.
It's actually very emblematic of John Landis's
type of humor.
Right. So it's slapstick, it's physical humor, it's physical gags, it's stuff like that. It's almost like a higher brow.
It's creepy uncle-y, to be honest. That's what it reminds me of.
What?
Uncle
Please explain that.
It just always reminds me of that uncle who's like way too close and trying to get you to laugh and doing weird things like smashing cans on his forehead and stuff like that. And it's like, this is stupid. Please stop and leave me alone.
I don't know if I got that vibe.
I got that a lot in Animal House.
Oh, definitely Animal House.
Maybe that says more about my uncles.
Also true. We can talk about it later. It's okay. I got more of like it's almost like I'm gonna feel really dumb when I say this, or this is gonna come out bad. Like a higher brow Adam Sandler movie. Like Adam Sandler's the lowest bar. Like he's like, I'm gonna make fun of everyone. Everyone's stupid except for me. I hate black people and Mexicans and Asians and like he's just like bully on the playground, but this feels like the bully on the playground
Sidekick. It doesn't want to push too many buttons.
Yeah, or the bully on the playground in high school. So the bully on the playground in middle school is Adam Sandler, and the bully on the quote-unquote playground in high school is John Landis. So he's like the guy in the cafeteria that's like, I bet I can drink all these milks, and then he drinks all the milks, and then he barfs. Or, I bet I can eat this pencil lead, or I can make this paper airplane and throw it in the teacher's hair.
Do people go backwards in Michigan?
I don't know.
The bully in the playground in my high school broke a girl's 3 ribs and knocked 4 of her teeth out, slamming her in a locker.
You grew up in Florida.
And it was a lady.
Yeah, and you grew up in Florida.
Yeah.
So
that's when we get guns.
It's real bad. Bad analogy. But I just feel I just don't get his humor, or I don't find his humor funny. Like slapstick can be funny, like.
It can.
Three Stooges.
I love Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin, Three Stooges, funny, but it's been done.
Yeah,
and it's been done to death.
It really is.
And when you're doing a movie with Simon Pegg, that's not his forte. His forte isn't slapstick. His forte isn't, oh, I fell down some stairs, or I slipped down some blood, or blah blah blah. It's being quippy. It's being quick. It's being clever. Like he's really good at quick responses and like back and forth banter with characters and building like I'm obviously referring to Edgar Wright movies, but like building very complex situations that all pay off in the end. Like Edgar Wright is just, his screenplays are like perfect, and that's what's satisfying about like an Edgar Wright comedy, where it's like there's build up, and all these different stories going on. Build up, and then the end is just one big punchline that like brings all these things together, and you're like, you have that like, oh moment. Wow, but it's also funny. It's also really funny, or it's also really satirical. Whereas this movie and John Landis's humor is just like, kind of like, I want to make you laugh for a moment, and then that's it, and then we're moving on. And also, there's a plot that I have to, like, explain, or, you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't, like, focus on one, or his focus is all over the place. It's like, he doesn't know whether he wants to make you laugh, or care about the characters, or care about the plot, or, you know what I mean? It's just kind of
I think he wants to tell a story
mishmash.
while making you laugh, but he doesn't want the story itself to make you laugh. Just the characters in it.
Just the characters and
He's
the thing.
kind of like
just
a kid looking around the whole movie. That's what I want to be. It's kind of.
Yeah.
I want to say juvenile, but it feels weird to say his humor's juvenile when
It
he's
is,
like
though.
4 times my age.
You can still be juvenile when you're old. Look at me.
You're like 3 years older than me. And clearly people grow backwards in Michigan. It has already been established.
Yeah. Yep. State full of Benjamin Buttons. I think the other thing, before we move on, I think the other thing that was a little disappointing was the beginning. There was a gag with Tim Curry where they're cutting, he's cutting up a body haphazardly, and he cuts a cadaver's feet off, and a bunch of blood shoots off in one of his students' faces. And that's kind of funny.
Morbidity.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, that's a little macabre and morbid, but that's it. Like, the movie is about finding dead bodies, and making people dead, and making them look like accidents, and that's it.
It needs more morbid humor, and there wasn't any. They didn't have any style. It didn't have any grace.
Yeah, it's like, I don't like the extreme. I'm trying to think. Personally, the extreme example for me would be like Brain Dead by Peter Jackson, where it's just morbid and campy, and it's just like, oh my god, everything is over the top, and that movie is hilarious. That movie is
beautiful.
Beautiful. And there's goop, lots of goop.
You know,
And there's no goop in this
that
movie.
just occurred to me. Him and Andy Serkis are like BFFs, and Peter Jackson praises John Landis to no end in a ton of interviews I've seen, and I wonder if that's how this happened. Peter Jackson's like, work for him and tell me what it's like.
Oh no. Maybe that's why Peter Jackson's in hiding now. It's like, I'm done with movies and everything.
He might be in that movie somewhere. Should have looked.
He's a cadaver.
He would. He would totally do that. He'd be like, hook me up with all the squibs.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
He was the foot at the very beginning.
It just... I guess in conclusion, this movie needed a different director. It's like... well, I mean, the script was not great either, but with a different director, I feel like that could have been improved as well. But, like, you had everything. Like, somebody gave you... It's like somebody gave a comedy director, like... Just, here's unlimited everything. Like, you have Simon fucking Pegg, you have Tim Curry, you have Andy Serkis, like...
And the Bill Bailey Shakespearean intro that doesn't pay off with the Shakespearean play in the movie. I was like waiting for this punchline that never happened, and I'm like, what's going on?
Okay, so... before we move on, I keep stalling here. The side story with Isla Fisher's character, she's doing a Macbeth play. She wants to put on a Macbeth play, and they need bodies, and they need them to look like accidents. I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder if they're going to actually kill people in this Macbeth play and make it, play it off like it's just the play, and then they'll have some more cadavers. That doesn't even fucking happen! It doesn't even happen. It's like a perfect joke. It's set up for them. It's perfect. It's crafted. It's right there.
Yeah.
And they didn't even do that. And I'm like... I'm mad, but I'm like, I'm not surprised, because it's John Landis. And he's just, he's your uncle making a movie. Let me make a funny movie. Haha, the guy fell down the stairs.
Burp.
Alright, let's talk about Animal House from 1978. Starring the late and great John Belushi and Karen Allen.
Amadeus.
Yeah, and Kevin Bacon.
No.
And some other people.
Bunch of people.
Yeah, this movie's really funny. I like it when he shoots the horse, and he thinks it's a blank. But it's not. But it is.
Blank.
And then the horse has a heart attack and dies, and that's funny. And then I like when the fat guy is eating all the food at the cafeteria.
Oh my god.
Do you like that?
Hilarious.
I like when he's looking at the girls' boobies. He's looking at them undressed, and he's looking at their boobs.
Oh, I was thinking about
window.
rape or not rape, or the time where it was statutory rape.
Yeah,
or
like
the time where it was prison rape.
The statutory rape when
I lied to you too. I'm just 13.
And then she passes out.
That was after that.
And then I like when they're racist, the white people go to the black bar.
Oh yeah, that scene where I was sitting there like, is this really happening?
And they're afraid of the black people
movie?
because they're black. I like that part. That was really funny. Because Otis Day was singing a song, and he sings a song, and he's like, shout.
And then when he sings at the black bar, he doesn't say any words.
Right.
Hilarious. I'm so happy I saw this movie.
I like when the guy... I like when he pretends that a girl died so he can fuck another girl. That was funny.
Right,
That's really funny.
That was good.
I like all the gay panic that all these guys don't want to be gay. So careful.
I think I blacked out during that part from all the hilarity.
I like when the dean of the college is like, I'm gonna get you, and then he shakes his fist in there. He's like, I'm gonna get you, Delta House. And he's like, ah. And then what else? What else is really good? I like when the guy, he's like, "This is my parents' car, you guys. Be careful," and then they crash it into a bunch of stuff. It's like they're not being careful with his car, even though he said, "Be careful with my car."
A whiny
It's
little
like they did
voice.
the opposite of what he said.
Oh my goodness.
And then they're like, toga, 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 because they're having a toga party, because that's what you do in college, at university. You have a toga party.
Of course.
And then oh geez, there's so much to like about this movie. I'm having a really hard time thinking of everything. I mean, I did leave for about 40 minutes and do the dishes, but
and bang them around really loud, trying to deafen yourself.
yeah, but I may have stuck a fork in my eye. But it's just because I love this movie so much.
Yeah.
That it makes me want to stick forks in my eye.
I can understand. What about that dildo they showed at the beginning? You could put that in your eye and then you never.
Yeah, there's a really.
You'd never have to be again.
Weird dildo, because I don't know, dildos. the gay panic. I'm sorry, I didn't explain. It was in the beginning when they're like, those two guys, they're always together, and then they're in the room and he's like freshening up for his date, and the one guy's like, oh, my girlfriend's mad at me because I'm a jerk. Anyway.
Oh, it was a scene with the dildo.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
That was when I was processing what I had done, so I couldn't focus.
They're holding the dildo and talking about the dildo, and then and someone else walks in and sees them, and they're like, gayness, and then I don't know if that's exactly what they said, but something like that. And then
probably
they slam the door shut, like, oh geez, can't see that. I like when oh jeez, he drinks the okay.
And that's our review of Animal House.
I can't do it. I can't even pretend anymore.
It's horrible.
This movie's terrible. It's really bad. Don't watch it if you have any self-respect.
I need to rewatch Superbad now because it made me feel like Superbad was trying to make a lot of those same punches, and now I want to regret all my life choices.
Superbad is probably not great anymore.
Yeah.
Now that I'm like nearly 30, it's probably not funny because I can't relate to those characters anymore.
I couldn't relate to those characters, but I still enjoyed that movie for some reason.
Yeah. Well, they're about to embark into college, right? In that movie.
Right.
They're about to. We gotta enjoy our last summer.
We gotta lose our virginity.
Lose our virginity, right? So it's one of those movies, and this movie's already like, we're in college and there is no plot. Like, things happen in.
Okay, so Superbad has a plot, so it's slightly.
Yeah, kind of. And like at the time, at least, Michael Cera's like kind of an adorable guy, and you're like, aw, Michael Cera, he's adorable. Let's watch him like be awkward, even though he's like my age, but he's playing a teenager because he's typecast, but he's still good at playing a teenager and being awkward and dumb. But yeah, this movie has no narrative whatsoever at all. Like, I won't even go into it because it doesn't have a story. It's just like, look at these Looney Tunes, God, look at these goofballs goofing around. It's just a bunch of goofballs getting drunk for an hour and a half or whatever. And people love this movie.
They do. That's why I felt like obligated to see it. Especially working at sporting events when I was in my younger years and full of regret. Now I know why I should never work at sporting events ever again.
True. Yeah, I guess the only thing is people who like this movie are shitty people.
Yeah.
Right?
Sounds right.
Because they associate with these shitty people in the movie.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in college and I did that. I remember, fraternities. Oh, I remember when I got spanked. with Thing, and I got hazed. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I remember that. It's just like, it's just empty nostalgia, this whole movie. For a very specific demographic, which is not us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I went to college, and I mean, there are aspects of Animal House that are definitely like, okay, yeah, that's a thing, but like they're not even hyperbolic about it. It's just like, yeah, that's a thing. Like, if you go to a university, they're gonna have a toga party, or they're gonna have, maybe it's because of this movie, but like,
I feel like it is.
like I have been to a house party in college where it was overcrowded and a bunch of people, and everyone's drunk and rambunctious and being shitty, generally speaking, and you know, you're fighting to get to the keg, and like, that's not, to me, that's not fun, and there's nothing fun about it. So basing a movie around that is kind of, I don't know, dumb. It's a very John Landis thing to do. Yeah. Animal House is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a bad movie.
It is.
Don't ever watch it.
I finally did it, though.
Yeah. I mean, you can check a box off a thing, and
Mm-hmm.
it's on your bucket list, right?
No.
Not anymore, because you watched it.
That part of the bucket list is burned.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, let's forget that happened. Let's forget it.
I will try my best.
Okay. And to help us try, we're going to pick another director.
Oh no, it's your turn to ruin it.
It's my turn. Hopefully.
I kind of want you to get a good one, but I also don't want to be the only one to pull bad directors, so I'm conflicted right now.
I don't know, didn't I pull George Lucas?
George Lucas is a decent director. We said positive things about THX and whatever we got.
He's 50-50. You may have pulled that. Anyway. Alright, so the director selector. My turn. So we got Spielberg, Lucas, and Landis are disqualified in
Hayao
case...
Hayao Miyazaki. Please.
Alright, I pick...
If it is Hayao Miyazaki, I'm not going to believe you.
Mika Ninagawa.
Holy shit, yes!
This was your...
This was me!
Selection.
This was me!
So close enough. A Japanese director we got.
Oh!
Well, so what's your... Because you're already familiar.
I am. I think
So
she's a beautiful director.
Do you already have a movie?
I feel obligated to pick a certain one that I have not seen before.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if all of her movies are going to be on IMDb, just a heads up. But I also have my favorite, which is right there that I do.
Helter Skelter.
Yeah.
And Sakura.
Sakura's the one I have not seen.
She's only directed 2 movies.
That's what I'm saying, is her movies are not all on IMDb.
Oh. Oh. Well, let's do a Google. This is in real time, folks. You're experiencing this
I know.
as it happened.
Oh, maybe it is the only. Never mind.
She's only done 2 movies.
Really?
I've seen Helter Skelter.
You have not. I've told you about Helter Skelter a bunch of times, but you have not seen it.
I thought we watched that together.
No.
So we're just gonna watch her 2 movies?
Sure. That resolves it. I want to talk to you about Helter Skelter.
Okay. Alright. Well, that was easy. So next week is Sakuran and Helter Skelter. by director Mika Ninagawa of music video fame.
Is that why I feel like she's directed more? I feel like she's
Maybe. Well, you just said that music videos are like tiny movies.
They are tiny.
So.
She directed an Alicia Keys video. She directed
in a
Girl on
sense.
Fire by Alicia Keys.
Alright. Interesting. That's a good picture.
She was a photographer, that's why her direction is really pretty.
Okay, so Mika Ninagawa. Okay, so next week we will be watching Sakuran and Helter Skelter by Mika Ninagawa. Her only 2 movies. But maybe less is more. You hear that, John Landis? Less is more.
Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to talk about in this. There's more to talk about.
More is more. Okay. Less is more, and more is more, and more is less. But sometimes it's not. Anyway, if you want to talk about Ghost in the Shell or Zack Snyder, you can send an email to us at ithinkihatemovies@gmail.com. If you love the film Animal House and you want to defend it, you can send an email to ithinkihatemovies@gmail.com. If you think that Akira is not very good, I have to disagree with you, and you can send an email, or you can write to us on our Tumblr, at Tumblr, or what is the fucking goddamn it, every time. ithinkihatemovies.tumblr.com. Yeah, so contact us, and we will be back next week. Thanks for listening.
You were doing a pattern.
Yeah. Drums.